Let's get this started then.
Zyra's okay. Diva's good.
Skip forward a bit.
Yeah, I'm going to work from over
Yeah.
here, so yeah, sure, you can stick up a shield here.
So,
I'm really going to be bouncing around a lot and chucking dynamite in and shit.
yeah. So that's a nice place to start for a little while.
Yep.
The best place after that is back before the bridge. So you got two boxes.
Watching
Kind of
for
want to set up there.
Widow.
So here's a nice thing you did, just watching for the widow. The dynamite was a good throw. You probably could have just stood here to throw it, really, because you're straight ahead, but it doesn't really matter.
So yeah, let them push it down to us, and then they've got a Zarya Ryan. Shields down, Moira all coming in. There's the Widow.
Oh wow.
Oh, we've got a
May
May behind us.
She's walled, but she's on her own.
That was a nice shot.
We've got no pressure on the payload still, it's just free pushing.
Good dynamite onto the line.
She's taking me, and she's almost taking tread.
I'm down
She's
as
down,
well.
she's down, May's down. We just need to get a bit of pressure on that payload now.
Some
That's
good
two of
hip
them down.
fires.
Stop the free
It's close
Odian
enough.
payload, please.
I'll get on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Unlucky on those shots.
So do we have
So let's go back a little bit.
She's walled, but she's on her own. We've got no pressure on the payload still, it's just free pushing.
Yeah, just push back to those two boxes.
She's taking me, and she's almost taking tread.
I'm down
She's
as
down,
well.
she's down, May's down.
So kind of here, what you could have done is went back to high ground. So you could have just taken the high ground up here. So you had the high ground advantage against everyone else. The Ryan was here, he was going to die. I believe Widow was probably around here. You'd Zarya here. I think a Bastion somewhere around here as well. I believe I saw a Bastion. But so taking the high ground would have really given you the advantage over everyone. But other than that, it was a good play.
We just need to get a bit of pressure on that payload now. Okay, that's two of them down. Stop the free
Or was I
Odian
just
payload, please.
going crazy about the Bastion?
I'll get on.
I think I was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nice.
So that was an unfortunate death of the Moira Orb. You probably would have avoided it being high ground, but it's okay.
So do we have we got any healers? Tread's here.
No, you still have Tread. He's doing well here.
Mid.
That was not in the plan.
Okay, work around that payload. Now, you can even put a shield beyond the payload down the choke a little bit. I'm going to take the high ground behind. I can do a little bit of scouting.
Need a heal, need a heal. Oh, fucked.
Where are you? Where were you?
I'm dead.
So again, this is a nice spot to be.
Oh, there's a
Good
Zarya
sight
behind us.
lines.
Didn't see you.
Fucking May.
I'd say right there. Kind of
Nice kill
where
onto the May. That was a really nice pick.
Yes.
Although she's going to get
To when the May
just
comes
spawned, but
in,
at least
yeah,
it
kinda just,
gives it
So
5v6.
the first time you wouldn't have been aware from that. She actually walled us off over the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second time she did just kind of walk around. So it's just kind of being aware. Thanks.
I've got a bob to put on the payload. Tread's got a nano.
May,
May on top.
May is
May
up
top.
top. Yeah, good shout.
So here, what you can do, rather than standing on this ground here, you could actually stand in here, and because you got the kind of door there, which you can shoot from. Kind of stand there, and as they come past, you can kind of shoot from them down there. You can shoot more like that. Because you've got the high ground there, you can shoot there, you can cover this high ground, and they really have to contest you here, because this spot is really valuable. Because in a normal kind of higher scrim, you'll have maybe a diva or their Hanzo or Widow jump up here, and they'll contest this area because they have good sight lines this way, and they can go around this way to the back line where you got the high ground over here. This bit isn't that valuable. You can get good sight lines down, and you can also see here and also over here, but it's not the best. You kind of want to. I normally set up here as a tank in this kind of area. I'll have my, so I normally play Orisa here, so I have my shield here. We'll have either a Widow or a Hanzo here, and then the other one here. But it's a good spot here, but this spot is really good. And since you're, other than Widow, the only sniper, you should really try and hold it.
Red, wherever Widow is.
Widow is down the bottom.
I've got ult.
So again, nice, making sure you can find the Widow so you can contest her.
Dave, how are you?
That's always good.
You ready to nano on Bob? Bob in.
Yeah, I got
Oh shit,
Bob, I
they
got
just fucking...
Maze here.
So I do say it. So here, I do say it in the clip. That was a good Bob, although they did kind of destroy him. They went for Southie first, and they got picked. You did get the May, but because of your Bob, zone was fine, and your Bob was targeted with the coalescence, the vine, and everything else. So your Bob saved him, which was really good. And I believe Bob survived. But what I would say, I don't see a reason why you took low ground. You should always want high ground as a sniper. It's just invaluable. Like, holding the high ground is good. If you were worried about the Widow, you could have went here. You could just shoot down from them, or just focus the Widow first. So you could have even just going back here to this high ground here. You got the wall here, so the Widow can't see you from here, like from that angle, but you can still see everyone from this angle. And then after, you could just peek the Widow. You could just kind of go around here, peek the Widow, and kind of shoot her.
So they are virtually focusing Bob here. So that's
Because
a-
then you were, yeah. So if you're high ground, you probably wouldn't have died there. What are we now?
You
So
ready
yeah.
to nano on Bob? I'll put Bob in.
Yeah, I got
Oh shit,
Bob, I
they
got
just fucking...
Maze here.
So yeah. So because of coalescence and how it is, you were just in a direct line to it, and you just died. If you were up here, they would have had to aim that way to get you, and Bob would have done a lot more, I think, and tanked a lot more.
Oh my god.
Maze
What
down.
is this?
So they are virtually focusing Bob here. So that's
Or if you wanted to go down, you should have, to Bob, you should go down then go back up. Maybe you should coach go and stand up there.
Oh, you're on your own. Sorry, that's probably a bad call. Better than in either way, it will help us group up.
Fuck.
Both healers are at the back. Okay, let's.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to hold now, are we? Have we got a tank with us?
And
Pull
I
back,
wouldn't
pull
go.
back, pull back.
Yeah, just regroup here.
we've got whole hog.
So
I've got my ult too.
what you could do here, you could probably use.
So this is a good spot. You got the contest of this high ground. You can see this way. Ooh, that was a really bad arrow. Holy crap! So you can see the kind of into this door. You can contest anyone who goes up here and tries to get to you. You can contest the payload and pressure them. Another good spot to be is on this, like the panels here, or just on the main rotating cylinder platform. Although you can't kind of see this area, you can see the payload. You can see the area down here, so they can't really push up here without you knowing. You can't see down here, but mostly from here you have a better aggressive angle, so they can't take the flank up here. So they can't. Even if they did, you'll see it, and then you can move. But here, you're kind of more focused on the payload in this area, which right now, until, because they just got the point, they're not really going to contest from this angle. And even if they did, the Hanzo there wouldn't really get much value. His sightlines isn't the best, so like to see your team, he would have to probably stand here, and from the platform over here, you could probably see him still. So I think if you moved that way, you'd have a lot better position.
And then just
Hanzo up top,
maybe
right?
Ho-Ho or Barrage.
How have you
Map
seen-
Southie would also be a lot more safer here. Because right now they can go up the stairs and see him, whilst over there he can be behind the cover of
Hey, Matt, we
that.
better get out of here because we're in a bad place.
Good call. Whoever.
Widow's on the left.
Yeah, so if you were stood on this high ground here, it's bad hours. I don't think Southie would have died. I think because she could stand on this side. So, say this is the platform, got the cylinder. You could stand here to aggress, and Southie could be here safe. So she can't be attacked unless they take the high ground. But by then you would have noticed them down here. So you would have saw them go up the stairs to the high ground, and I think you would have had a better advantage.
Widow's the alcove on left.
I got
I'm not-
worried.
Back where they are, but
I think also here you should coach gun up to take the high ground.
they've
Just
got
to,
hands
once
on
again,
as well.
always try and contest the high ground.
What?
That was an unfortunate shatter, but I believe
So
you
right
do
now you should
survive.
probably just
That was a
back
nice
up
pick on
and-
Desire. Got the Widow too, which was nice. And then you do end up getting yourself sadly
I could have backed
to the
off, but I
Hanzo.
would have still got
If you're a high ground, I
Everyone
think
else
you
is gonna
may
be
have
back.
noticed the Hanzo.
They're going to be charging in.
And this is unfortunate that
Ah,
Orisa gets picked. And she was
So you still have
caught
time
off.
for another push.
Yeah,
If you
we
just
do.
want to group up for another
Yeah,
6.
group up, group up. I'm going to take the high ground. Matt, actually work with
I've still got
almost a bit more.
Yeah, so if you want to contest now, that'd be really good.
This is a good spot for you.
Back up a bit.
You can test the Widow. Sadly, you did get picked though. But it was a good
They're both
good spot to go
stuff
up
on
to
the background. I should
and try and
maybe-
contest.
I'm going to go and take a Winston or something. 'Cause I know we're triple
Moira's down.
the worst thing. Pressure on the payload. I'm just going Winston to just clear out all
There's
the
a
sides.
Ryan at the back.
Probably shouldn't have switched. I probably had another bomb.
shit.
Good jump onto Hanzo. You
There's a Hanzo behind.
good jump onto the Widow, but you kind of think about it this way. I think rather than the Widow, you should have went back for the Hanzo. Because does he die? So yeah, so you got pushed the Hanzo down, and I don't think he dies. I think he sits in the back line.
There's a Hanzo behind.
Yeah, so he's still not dead. And I think you just forgot about him as you turn that way. Well, I think rather than the Widow, I think you should have went back to the Hanzo, because he's now threatening your backline quite heavily. Southie's going to have a bad time, Tread's going to have a bad time, everyone's going to have a bad time with a Hanzo, with Storm Arrows. They'll rip through zone. Firehawk's going to have trouble doing anything. He already has the Widow and a Hanzo on him. Southie's going to have trouble. So I think your kind of mistake here is just not focusing at one target. You're kind of a bit all over the place in a way.
Behind you, zone. There's a Hanzo. Got Nano.
So yeah, luckily you got picked. So
They've got
with like Winston on this map, you kind of want to stay high ground as well, because then you can. So say you're a big gorilla here, rather than, and say they're coming under, rather than you jumping down, you can just drop down and then you still have your jump to get back up. That's going to be a bit confusing. So once you're down here, you can then jump back up with your mobility to get into safety, or you could jump back to your team, and it just gives you a bit more safety.
Mercy now as well.
It's alright, we still got 5 up.
Whole hog is ready again.
Okay, I got you.
They switched on to Mercy from... No, not from Widow.
No, me.
Go.
Nice coordination.
Oh!
It's a nice jump onto the Mercy. I think if you jumped a bit at a lower angle, you would have just jumped onto her, getting the jump pack damage off.
Where is the Widow?
Upstairs.
A little slow seeing the Widow,
Oh,
but
thank you.
no problem.
Whoa. I'm stuck somewhere. Yep.
It's a nice focus onto the Widow. Luckily, well, sadly she had a grapple, so she got away. Nice drop down onto the Hanzo, good punch. And a nice finish.
Holding well.
Oh, sorry, Tread. Just missed it. Ryan behind us.
Right behind. I think it's fucking me.
I've got ult as well if needs be. Not much else to work with. Infrared is up. Tread, I'm next to you. Low.
Oh, the hand.
That was an unfortunate Hanzo. But nice ult to keep yourself alive.
It came from their spawn area.
Ryan's asleep.
Nice acknowledgement of the
I've got
double half
bar.
pack. So there, that was quite a bad bubble. So let's go back to that actually. First.
Area.
Ryan's asleep.
So
I've got bar.
your HP was full here. So this bubble here was really kind of useless. You're nanoed as well, so you weren't going to take a lot of damage. And the only thing it really did was maybe save a little bit of damage on your supports. But what I think you should have done is do a short jump onto Hanzo as he's low, and you would have killed him, so he would have died. And he probably could have bubbled, so no one could help him. Other than Zarya, because I think she still has projected. I'm not too sure about that. Or, rather than that, jump onto their healer over here, their Moira, and bubble her. Because then you can just kind of go in and out of your bubble, and she'll be mostly hitting your bubble. Her orb's already down, so she can't heal herself other than attacking you. Or the other thing was to attack their Mercy, who was also over here. Or even just their Rhine, you can bubble him off, and you do more damage than Mercy now. So you could have killed Rhine as well. But I don't think this bubble was worth it here. You should save it until you jump on someone. So jump on someone, right over here, drop your bubble about here in your jump. So it would land, so you have your bubble come down, and it would nicely kind of just go around Rhine. So Moira can't heal him, so Moira would just be out of the fight. Mercy would still be healing him, but you do more damage, and you could just punch to get that arm off. But other than that, it's not going too bad.
Barrage.
I've almost got ult. Zarya's on about 4,000 power.
Good call with the Zarya there. It was like that Zarya was really charged a lot. Good pick onto the Widow.
Oh, sorry, but it got him anyway.
It's alright. He was charging.
Good hold, good hold.
Nice jump onto the Mercy with the punch as well.
And stagger.
And that's
Leave him low, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. Don't kill him.
That's
Sorry.
actually nice.
I know.
Zarya, it's hard to stagger Zarya because if you don't hit her, she will get a health back with the shield. It was a good call though, really good call. I think just staggering someone is really, really big. The Zarya can heal up and get out safely if you're not careful, because she has a bubble, she has a shield regen. But you staggered her for a few seconds there.
I just.
Junkrat?
They have gone Junkrat.
Tom really fucking hates you, Benedict.
He does.
Have they got Reaper as well?
They've got a Reaper as well. I really want to swap then. It's going to be a bit late
Reaper's
for me
off.
to do that. I'm just going to have to play a little
Reaper's
bit
off the
more.
high
We've
ground.
got 10 seconds anyway here.
So you really should have just jumped up here earlier when they were grouping up. The reason for that is just high ground advantage. You can say you're stood here and they're coming round. You could just nicely drop down without using your jump, because you now have 4 seconds before you can jump again. And then just jump out when need be, go with the Reaper or whatever. Good spot for the Mercy. Nice bubble.
Zaya's low, Zaya's low.
Good ult,
Any
however.
heals? I'm gonna
Sadly
go-
stuck in the trap.
I was fucking reloading.
I have my ult up. Nice. No.
Unfortunately, not res. A bit of a risky res there.
Shit.
Here, you're
Doing well, guys.
kind of team just they sleep Junkrat, but
Hog on the payload.
they kind of leave him a bit too long.
No.
A good recontest, but sadly they won't get the
Touch
point
it.
there. And that was a good defense, really. Like, there's definitely some issues.
So, what are we going to do?
I don't think you died
Are we gonna best
too much,
or are
really.
we gonna
I think the main issue
We gotta
for
win
you
with
was
that basket.
taking the high ground and keeping high ground.
True. Let's see if they've done how to counter it, I suppose, right?
So let's jump forward a bit and watch some interesting Bastion.
Yar-har, infidelity!
I hope you guys seen that for the whole time.
Yep, I'll do it. Once I'm on the payload.
And here you lied to me. You said you were seeing it, but you didn't.
Just stay behind me.
So tanks out first. Just push over towards the point and
I'm at
draw
top.
the fire a little bit. Okay.
I'll be chucking.
I'm just
Okay,
not.
I wasn't.
I'm not going to show myself.
Okay.
Over to the payload.
Let's do it.
Sounds good. You kind of, in case someone was peeking or they don't notice.
Start shooting.
So they actually have
Can't
their
see
own
shit at the
Bastion.
moment 'cause I've got two fat tanks in front of me. But there we go. It's working.
Nice pick on
Thank you.
My shield
Torbs.
drop.
in his turret. Good pick on the Mercy here.
Doomfist behind.
Bit slow here in the Doomfist, but once again he was picked. That was nice. Tracking on the Anna was a bit bad, but
Yeah, I know.
not a
sorry.
problem. You do have quite a few picks right now.
It's holding us up. I can't see anything at the moment. I'm just pulling off the payload.
So that was a kind of good move because Anna was also up there. I believe Anna was still up on this high ground somewhere, so she could have slept you. So luckily, Rhinos faced the wrong way. He could have been slept. So I think that was a good move off. But yeah, they can contest the payload from either side from this bridge, so you should be careful of that.
Payload, I'll stay on it.
Nice shots onto
Sorry,
Zarya.
3 health.
Need help. They've got a main out.
Nice heal on yourself.
Oh, sorry, I've got nothing.
Right, let's switch off pirate ship.
No,
So-
no. Why?
No, we're doing alright.
We're doing absolutely fine.
There's a Junkrat behind us, potentially.
Why? Fire round.
So let's go back a little bit.
Shield, please.
Sorry.
Why?
No, we're doing alright.
Nothing.
So with this war, you're up here. Rather than just turreting and shooting, I would have moved maybe over here, because then you have high ground advantage on them. They can't do too much about you with their team. They had a Junkrat, but if he comes into your sightline, he should be dead. He had a Doomfist, I believe, over here on this bridge, but he didn't. He dropped down. But from here, you can kind of have this high ground. You can sit over there, And then as the payload kind of waddles past here, keeps going this way, you can kind of drop down back onto the payload and carry on. Other than that,
Right,
this
let's
so
switch
far
off
was really good.
pirate ship.
No, 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 no. Why?
No, no, we're doing right.
We're doing absolutely fine.
Is the junk crap
You're lucky that didn't hit you.
potentially?
Bye, Ryan.
So it is definitely working.
Shield, please.
Sorry. But I think if you kind of want to do this, keep zone off the payload and
Yeah.
just have
Okay.
it a bit more roaming.
Yeah, yeah, that works. That works.
Okay.
You don't really need the 2 shields. It does help, but zone can be a bit more aggressive here.
May's above us, guys. May just went up those stairs.
Zaya,
Do-
down the
do-
line.
Doomfist above and behind.
Above and behind.
Good calls, good calls, good calls.
Oh shit!
May's also behind.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
frozen.
blocking.
I'm staying on Bastion because I've got an ult, but we all got massively scattered there. We've got a few ults.
That's good. They
So
use
they-
2 ults
Yeah.
at least.
So we can get a bit of molten shit on the payload. I will
Going up top.
go up top. Yep. If they are all on the payload, obviously we can molten core it, but just be careful. Don't. Oh, you're on your own, guys, at the moment. Oh,
I'm
they've
gonna
got a
try and get
Junkrat.
Andy
So-
to on him if
Junkrat.
you can.
They do have Junkrat,
Right
so
there.
Got it.
I think I do tell you
Push
to
in,
go
push
the
in.
other way.
And watch out for that May. We need to work with.
You can push in after the wall. Really nicely. Nice pick. A bit out.
Sadly, you didn't really get anything
Behind.
out of this Bastion ult.
The darkness.
It was a good ult, but
Where are you, Morph? I'm coming to.
I'm running.
I think everyone was a bit too spread out.
Okay, I'm
I think you should have probably ulted out when you went in. You probably could have got a few picks as zone
Trade,
charged.
watch out.
Rethink
Yeah.
that going.
So
Yeah, massively scattered there. We've got a few ults. Shit.
Got it.
I've got ult.
Okay, push in.
Got it.
I've got ult.
Okay, push in.
Okay.
And watch out for that May. We need
so
to
if
work
you ulted about now, as you can see, you would have taken, because this is where the zone charges. So instead of sentry form, you would have been in your tank form by now.
Nice pick.
And as you can see, if you shot, you would have been shooting by now, and you would have had such nice targets. So you had Junkrat, Doomfist, Zarya, their Vine, their healer. So a shot like kind of nice pink. So if you shot here, you would have killed probably most of those. So you would have finished off mine. You would have killed the healer. Doomfist would be low, and then probably your target after that would have been Junkrat. I would say just delete Junkrat because he could be a pain. I think that this would have, so if you ulted here, you would have won this fight, and I think you would have pushed it a lot further, a lot faster.
Bit out.
So rather than ulting on this corner where you didn't really have any sightlines of anyone, it was kind of a waste.
Behind.
the darkness.
Where are you, Morph? I'm coming to.
I'm running. I got annihilated. Okay, I'm going Sombra now because they've got Doomfist.
Good swap onto the Sombra.
So you might want
Tread,
to
tread, watch out.
rethink
Yeah.
that going top.
Yeah,
They do
because
have,
they've got Junkrat. Yeah.
Can be hot.
I'm gonna go around the
bottom.
back and try and pick the Junkrat.
So if you go bottom, it'll be a lot easier for you.
So
Let's go bottom.
about that was good because they didn't really do anything against higher level teams. They would have punished you badly there. You use your mobility straight into them, and they would have saw you. And that would have been called out. So what I would have done rather than
Yeah, because they've got
go
Junkrat. Yeah.
up top is, so you got top bit here, you got the second bit here. So I would have went here and either up this little slope into the main court or all the way around, but that would have been too long for this kind of flank. So I would have up and then up the stairs to the high ground, rather than use your only mobility and escape into them.
I'm going to go around the back and try and pick the junk rat.
Yeah, if you go bottom, it'd be a lot easier for you.
Let's go
Actually,
bottom
do
then.
Anna does notice you, but
I picked the Anna. Anna's down.
and a good
Ryan's
pick
got
onto
no shield and he's
good
jumping in.
hack
Ryan,
and a good pick onto the Anna. Nice
took
pick on
two.
Doomfist.
Oh, May.
just work that payload.
So here, I think you could have put your relocator a bit faster,
So be
but
careful
it's
behind
not
you.
really an issue.
Yeah, we got a
Zarya's
junk rat
hacked.
behind us.
Zarya's hacked.
Good hack onto Zarya, she can't bubble someone.
Junkrat still behind us.
Bit lack of tracking, but you did get the pick.
Wow.
It's still winnable for you.
Yeah.
You want to focus that Junkrat and then the main.
It's just May left.
So you just got May.
Oh.
Good hack.
It is.
And a nice clean kill.
I mean, some more of them have got back.
So what I would have done here is probably teleported back to your translocator. Yeah.
I've got EMP now, by the way. What else have we got? We got loads of ults. Okay.
I'm sitting on my nano.
I'm going to EMP as they run around the corner.
Good EMP.
Doomfist.
You waited for the Zarya bubble to go out, so she gets. Oh no, you hit the Zarya bubble.
They're not on the payload.
I thought it went out in time.
I'm getting frozen. I'm getting frozen. I've got issues. What else have we got? We got loads of ults. Okay.
So yeah, objective was out, so she couldn't bubble anyone.
I'm going to EMP as they run around the corner.
And so with Zarya, you should wait for her bubble to time out. Only 2 seconds, and I think that would have probably done a lot better because this would be gone, so she'd be half HP straight away. But if she has a bubble up, it just deletes the bubble instead, and her shield on her health is just still there. So that would have been an easy pick. But other than that, it was a good MP.
Corner.
Yeah, so if you waited probably half a second more,
Doomfist.
you would have gotten it.
Pushing. They're not on the payload.
There's a Doomfist
I'm
behind us.
asleep. I'm getting frozen. I'm getting frozen. I've got issues. I don't even know where May came from there. That was.
Haha.
So May was behind you there, so if we go back a bit.
Yeah, just back.
Up it. Doomfist. Up it.
What else have we got? We got loads of ults. Okay.
I'm sitting on my nano.
So
I'm going to EMP as they run around the corner.
you got Anna here, and I believe May was just coming back from spawn, so she came on you from there.
Up it. Doomfist. Doomfist.
Please, please.
Pushing. They're not on the payload.
There's a Doomfist
I'm
behind us.
asleep. I'm getting frozen. I'm getting frozen. I've got issues. I don't even know where May came from there. That was.
Haha.
I think she'll come back from spawn at least.
Are we?
Tits.
Yeah, just back up and reboot now.
It would make sense since she was the
You
last
got
dead.
out the Doomfist and the tire there.
Ah, I got May
I'm
one.
gonna switch to May.
Oh,
Lucky.
I'm going round to the
Good
arrow
route.
back.
Yeah,
you guys group
good
up and
route.
pushing through the bottom. I can start with a couple of picks. Oh, Uncle Rufus is the one I'm doing. Amazing.
Ryan.
Good
I
translocator.
actually thought he was being
Ryan's
serious.
down, Ryan's down,
A
Ryan's down.
nice kill onto Anna. Luckily, well, sadly she did get the health back,
Whoa, we got.
and you did get it without falling down, which is good.
Rufus is not down. He is now.
And you got
Doomfist is
down.
Doomfist as well.
That's a male.
Good
She's low,
translocate.
though.
oh my god.
Nice hack on
Zarya's
Zarya, but fight is over now.
May's down. And Zarya's down.
Nice.
But your Torb does just kill everyone
Yep. Oh,
because they focus you instead.
I'm not close to you guys.
I'm
Rufus
backing
is
up. I'm
hacked.
backing up.
I've got another ult.
I got one core. I could use
Use it.
A nice EMP, sorry. You cancelled the Doomfist slam, got the tank and the Anna.
On mate. Oh,
Doomfist.
Doomfist has his ult.
Junkrat's down.
He's going to use it on me probably. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
I thought he'd just go for the solo kill. I was ready to blink away from it.
Down the payload, down the payload.
I'm asleep. Behind
Good
this
focus
mark.
on the Anna. You kind of zoned her out a bit,
Doing
I
work.
got you.
Keep on the
and
payload.
she had to deal with you.
I see now. Now again.
Not this time.
This is a bit of a weird translocator, but could have been a misclick. Nice pick onto the
Going down
May.
behind them. They've got a Bastion now.
Good
gonna go
job
just to
going
take
high
the Bastion.
ground.
Tell me when the bastion's hacked.
Okay.
Try
do
to stay
it that
behind
way.
the tank,
Bastion's
Jake.
coming underground. He's taking the underground.
Just call it.
I've got way too
Good
many that
awareness
can
of the
cover at
footsteps of
moment.
May.
Okay, hacking him now. He's hacked.
Ryan and Moira on the right.
Junkrat up top.
Nice one.
Junkrat
Well
top.
done.
Good push onto the Bastion with good hack.
Ah,
And a good follow up by Zone.
Spread, spread. Don't stay too close.
Fucking hell.
I don't think going all the way around there was useful. I think you should have just
got me anyway.
could have shot through the window, but sadly Ryan does get away.
Are we going to make a push?
I think
How many
if you was at the
pushes?
window, you would have got that kill.
Just quick up, guys.
I
Just
think that
push
would
on
have
the
been
page.
big
Just
for your
try
team.
and survive. Play safe. Oh, they've got a Winston now, have they?
Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Alright, so now you just kind of.
I've got EMP. Yeah, we want to slam a load of ults in here. If we don't get picked.
oh, Symmetra.
I'm just pushing the payload. Keep him busy. Keep him busy. Keep him busy. Oh, they saw me.
I think if you waited a little bit longer there, they would have went far enough away.
Nice EMP.
Good EMP
That
onto
would be
May,
good,
but there's no team to follow up,
But that's a
sadly.
good push, guys. We did well there.
Yeah, that was good.
No 4, it was a good game. You did really well.
Oh, they pushed away. I forgot.
I'd say
I thought that was the first round.
kind of the main reasons or main things I want you to work on is high ground. So take the high ground advantage, shoot down from them as definitely as a sniper. Your Winston, although I know you're not really the tank player, if you are going to swap to Winston for anything, work on keeping high ground still, so you can just drop off, jump back, or jump to the next target or whatever, jump back for healing, jump back up to high ground to take it, and you just keep that high ground presence so no enemy sniper really can just go la 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 la. I'm here, I'm Widow, I have a sniper. You don't really want that there. So instead, keep this high ground presence as Winston. That's a really bad circle, but whatever. So as Winston, stay on the high ground no matter what, really. If there's high ground in which, and they have a Widow or a Hanzo, or anything that could really use it, or high ground like the circle in the middle of the third point, it gives you big advantage. You can you don't even have to drop down from that pillar circle spinning thing. You can sit on it, you can zap people going below you, so you can be, say, it's like this. Got this thing in the middle that goes round, and then that goes around, and then a little bit there. So say they're pushing this way, you could be up here. That's the monkey you are.
Mic off. Mic on.
So they'll be walking down here. You got the platforms coming up. Like this. Whatever. So you can stand on these platforms and just zap them from up here, and they can't. They have to contest you. They have to. They can't just take damage for no reason. And if they do, they're using resources of Moira. So Moira's gonna have less resources to heal. They might. Junkrat might use his resources to contest, and if he does, that's good. Their monkey might jump up, and if so, you can either 1v1 him, or since he's used his mobility to jump up, you could just jump out, and you're safe. The Ryan can't do anything against you. The May can wall, so she could probably wall herself up, but if she does, you could jump out again. You're fine, and you're using their resources. Sim could telly up, but I don't think they had Sim for very long, like right near the end, so that would have been an issue. But yeah, overall I think it was really good, and so the main things is just high ground, keeping high ground, awareness, just kind of being aware of your flanks, taking high ground away from the other team as well, just taking your own high ground. Put yourself into more aggressive places, like on the second point, right near there, the start of the point, you got the window. Use that a bit more, it's very aggressive. You can take more picks onto them. But yeah, overall, it was really good. And I think you played really well on this map compared to the others. But yeah, hopefully this helps.